Since 2018, there's been one series of shafts that have absolutely dominated the shaft world, and it's the Fujikura Ventus series. It's no shock or surprise. Since then, we've had versions of Ventus come out, and we've also had competitors, Mitsubishi Chemical, Project X, and Acra. What I have to go over today might be the shaft series that dethrones the Ventus. So today we're going to be going into the tech review of the new Shogun series from ACCRA Golf. So with the Shogun series, this is the most premium line of shafts that ACCRA has ever created. For those of you that don't know about ACCRA Golf, they are owned by True Temper Sports. So you've got Project X, Dynamic Gold, and ACCRA. With ACCRA, it is more premium material, and they're also made in smaller batches. What's very unique about the Shogun and how it's made, it's actually made in Japan. And rather than being mass-produced by a machine, there's a select few people who actually hand-roll each one of these shafts. So as far as a spec quality, it doesn't get much tighter than that only one or two sets of hands actually are in charge of making these. With this series, you've got three unique profiles. You have the Shogun Red, the Shogun Green, and the Shogun Blue. What's kind of interesting with each profile is they're all built on stability, similar to what the RPG series from ACCRA was developed on. Starting with the blue is the most kind of unique profile that we'll talk about in this series. It's kind of like the shaft that's kind of, I always call it a gimmick, the auto flexes. It's really whippy. It's made to produce more club head speed without you swinging any harder, hence the auto flex name. But that comes with a pretty hefty price tag of about $900, and we really haven't seen that much performance out of it. So ACCRA says, hold my beer and watch this. We've got the Shogun Blue. It's available in a M0, and it's also available in an M2. They're both in the 40-gram profile, and what's really unique is when you get into this tiny niche market is the stability aspect. Is when you're trading stability for speed, obviously, you're going into that purchase or going into that fitting knowing that you're building on speed. With all three shafts, they've got a tapered tip, they've got a constant taper design in the shaft. What constant taper design does, it allows them to give you the stability and the handle in the midsection, but in the tip section with this blue, you've still got that crack, that whip that's giving you that accelerated speed. So it's a shaft that if you guys watch Long Drive that has been debuted as a prototype on Long Drive, it's actually already got a win, I believe, at this point by the time the video comes out. And you're starting to kind of see it pop up more into that niche market of I want to get faster, but I don't want to work out. That might be the shaft for you. And that's going to be the blue series in the Shogun. You've got the green series. They kind of consider that their mid-flight series. So kind of like with their GX line, you've got a green, a blue, and a red. This is very similar with that. So with the green series, you do have multiple flex options. So in green, you've got M3, M4, and M5. They're all going to be in that 58 to 70 gram range, which is pretty unique that they are offering multiple weights with this material. And then in the red, and this is going to be your rebar. This is going to be the stiffest profile. But what's nice and what's kind of unique is when you get into a lot of low launch golf shafts, you typically trade feel for the stability aspect. So like with the T1100, it is basically rebar that is graphite. With the Smoke Black, you've got a very smooth loading profile, but it's still very rigid with very limited feedback. With this red series, the tip section is actually a little bit softer, and it's kind of around a 3.0 torque, and that's pretty rare. The reason that they did that is with all modern drivers, they're mostly carbon fiber, so they have very low spin rates with very high points of MOI. And what they found through independent testing is when they went into like the 2.2 torque, 2.3 torque with this stiff of a profile shaft, you weren't actually able to get all the speed out of that shaft in driver combination because of how tight that torque was. So they went with 3.0 torque on this, and the reason why is there's something new with all three of the Shogun series, and that's actually how they weave the carbon. What's really cool, they call it an Acceleron MX. So it's 5 different sheets of how this graphite carbon composite is laid and weaved into a pattern. So they call it like a tornado, if you will. So as they are laying the sheets and rolling it, it's actually a specific pattern dedicated to each shaft. So with them, they have something called S3. It's the way they measure golf shafts. So some people call it EI curve, is 1 point of measurement. They also measure the recovery rate of the graphite as you are loading and unloading energy. And so this is actually the first shaft that Acra has that there's no spine in the shaft because it's so rounded. There's no need for a spine or a seam, which just speaks on that quality. What's really unique and what I like is the color scheme. So we've kind of got like a matte finish, but it's not quite, it's almost like a pastel, if you will. On one side, you've got the gold writing, and then on the other side, you've got kind of a shadow, like almost hidden font. So very unique, depending on if you want to see that, what we call TV when you spine it, or down the line if you spine it on an adapter that way. So it's very unique color story and just looks just ultra premium. And I think when you're going after a shaft that has so many wins on the professional circuit and the amateur circuit, you've got to make it look premium, but you also have to make it feel premium. And that's the one thing that I can say compared to some other shafts that we've reviewed is just being able to see these, hold these, kind of check the CPMs before we've tipped them or trimmed them. We have not had one that so far is out of balance. So that really speaks to that quality that they're really pushing with the shaft. The other kind of shocking thing is when you talk about premium graphite driver shafts, you start looking at $499 retail, $349 retail, $600, even $800, like I mentioned earlier with some of those AutoFlex and specialty options. The map on these shafts are only going to be $320. So that's the raw shaft. And something Acra did to protect club builders' integrity in the sense of you can't buy these shafts raw. If you order these online through us or you find it elsewhere, it has to be pre-built. You are not allowed to send these shafts out unbuilt because they are wanting to protect the quality of this product and show that this is a premium product and it needs to be handled with care. I've been in the industry for about 16 years and no shaft company has ever done that. That's how confident they are in this product that they are willing to protect it from being sent out or copied. So really nice job with the team there. And what we're going to do next is we're going to review this shaft. We're going to test it with one individual head, all three profiles, so that M0 in the blue, and then probably the M5 in the green and the red to show you kind of the differential and launch characteristics. So kind of the general rule of thumb with them this year, whether it's the Shogun or the GX, is blue's the highest launching profile, green's a mid-launch, and red's a low launch. So it's pretty easy to understand there. So the big question is, now that we've been able to go over a little bit of the tech, is will this compete with Ventus? So what we're going to end up doing is once the adapters come in, we're in the process of switching to Club Connex. So once those adapters come in and we get these tipped and gripped, we're going to hit each profile, and then what we're probably going to do is stack it against the same profile on the Ventus and kind of do a head-to-head to see that is this going to be the shaft series that dethrones the Ventus series. And just going off of the quality, I think it might be a good possibility. I'd be curious to see what you guys think in the comments, just based off of the tech that we've gone over and also the look. Do you like the color schemes and the font a little bit better than how maybe that Ventus will look in a product? So really excited to review those in the coming weeks. So in order to see that video, you have to have your push bell notifications turned on and be subscribed. As soon as a video goes live, it'll send an alert to your email or your phone. You can pull it up and just see if this is going to take down the king of shafts right now. So if you haven't already, turn those on, like and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next video and hopefully hit some bombs with these shafts.